With the scripture. Okay. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 13, verse 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They install it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
All right, Shalom Akyam. We'd like to start off by giving our honor and glory to
Yahweh by Shem Yahushua by Shem Rakakodash.
Double honors to our apostles of great millstone, Ruel, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. I'm Zahaba to my right,
Kazak.
All right, to my left.
Yashima.
And today we're going to go into a live stream entitled When a Rich Man Speaketh, man. All right, because we've been, through the spirit, paying attention to the effect of some of these movements that have gone on for the past few decades. And basically, this is the generation that's seeing the results of these movements.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here to say through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, these movements are nothing more than the king of Babylon speaking.
Yep.
All right. So you have the precept.
Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach, chapter 8, verse 2. Be not at variance with a rich man.
Be not at variance. You brought this point out a while back, man. All right. You can't go against the Rothschilds. You don't know how much higher they are than you. That's why the Black Panther movement got divided and conquered, man. All right, that's why Jake got dissected, man. All right, the whole time we were in America, the elites were against us. There was us against the king, man.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was covert or overt, man. All right.
Be not at variance with a rich man, lest he overweigh thee.
Yeah, and he overweighs us because compare our military budget to his military budget. We don't have a military budget.
Right.
We have a military. All right. That's why you can't be at odds against the elites.
Mm-hmm.
The rich man represents the elites, man. All right. Or the elites represent the rich man. All right. But going back to that first scripture, all right, Sirach the 13th chapter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, when a rich man speaketh. See, in the ancient world, when a king had a decree, all right, the whole world that he conquered had to obey him. But now he does that by way of movements and legislation. All right. And a prime example of that is the women's liberation movement. The reason why a woman says, you don't own me or you can't control me, you know why? Because a rich man got your woman.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He can foot the bill.
He can foot the bill.
He can feed a whole nation of women.
Yep.
So
that's why when Jake was talking, he was like the song, when the rich nigga got your bitch, like these girls ain't loyal.
Yeah.
In the song, he was like, if a rich nigga got your bitch, best believe he gonna hit. Or something like that. All right. But our situation in America with the women's liberation is that just the result of Esau, a so-called rich man, taking your woman.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see the movie Dead Presidents? When Lorenzo Tate character came back from war, what happened to his military? What happened to his woman? A pimp got a hold to his woman. All right. See, that's what happened to us. A rich pimp got a hold to our woman. That rich pimp said, "Oh, you don't need that nigga. I can put you in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I can feed them kids. Just make sure that nigga ain't in the house."
Yep.
That's called the welfare state.
Yep.
Then he said, "Look, baby, fuck that nigga. You could go to my school and work for me and feed yourself to working for me.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got to be in the picture. I set you up to niggas to be options for you."
Mm-hmm.
All right, because that's the power of a rich man getting the ear of your woman, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he manifested that by way of something called women's liberation, the welfare state. All right, that is an example of a rich man speaking.
Yeah, Webby,
IND.
Yeah, man.
But the record label that they were under was under Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Which is under the Warner Brothers. Go back to those fake Jews.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The same people that's pushing Cardi B.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a rich man speaking, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You finish it off?
Yep.
All right, now it says, back in Sirach 8 and 2, be not at variance with a rich man, lest he overweigh thee. For gold have destroyed many and perverted the hearts of kings.
Yep.
All right, says, strive not with a man that is full of tongue, and heap not wood upon his fire.
Yeah, heap not wood upon his fire. All right, don't give him that ammunition. All right, but I want you to get first, unless you have more.
Yeah, we're gonna jump up in that Sirach 13
Uh-huh.
and 3. It says, the rich man have done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal.
Mm-hmm.
The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also.
Mm-hmm.
So all the wickedness that Edom had done, and he's still talking shit like, you know, we're the problem, man.
Yep.
You know, the people that has no power are the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has the power and influence, you know, in the earth. He controls the food.
Yep.
He controls the water supply.
Yep.
He controls the curriculums in school.
Yep.
You know, but he controls all these things, and then he'll blame society for pollution.
Yep.
You know,
Or mankind.
yeah, mankind.
Yeah, he loved them.
Yeah, but the poor man, you know, hey, you do wrong, you gotta explain everything.
Now the whole earth has been robbed by one group of people.
Yeah,
Yet everybody gets nervous when an Israelite man walks past their car.
yeah.
That's the power of the deflection that a rich man has,
Yeah.
man.
You gotta explain yourself.
You gotta explain
all the
yourself.
time. Like remember the Edomite chick that tried to jump on that little Jake boy over her phone.
Yeah.
She thought he stole his phone.
Yeah.
That comes from Esau.
Yeah.
Edom created that situation.
Yeah.
He manipulated that. The rich man.
Yeah.
You know? Because he has everyone thinking like him, man.
Because what does the rich man own? He has power over the media. All those Tyler Perry movies where that bald head, dark skinned dude was making Keisha bark like a dog. Guess who owns Lifetime Network? My mom used to watch Lifetime Network. It was the abusive alcoholic husband beating the housewife. That was going back to the welfare state, the women's liberation movement, to where being a housewife is evil.
Mm-hmm.
See, they was pushing you. There's more propaganda to get you out that house, to divide and conquer your house, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but to get more power that the king has, you could get 1 Ezra 4 and 3.
1 Ezra 4 and 3.
Yeah, read on down to 11.
Okay. All right. This the book of 1 Ezra chapter.
No. Yeah, you can look up this first in Chancy. Those are Okay. That's not good.
It's a book of 1 Ezra chapter 4 verse 3. It says, "But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things and have dominion over them."
Yeah, and now the king is the Rothschilds,
Mm-hmm.
the Rockefellers, the
Mhm.
13 elite banking families.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new king of Babylon. All right,
Mm-hmm.
but they rule in secret. All right, but they still have that same type of power.
Yep.
All right.
It says, "But yet the king is more mighty, for he is the Lord of all these things and have dominion over them, and whatsoever he commanded them, they do."
Yep.
And
Yep. Whatsoever he commanded. How does he command? Through decrees, legislation, movements. Movement is another word for manipulation.
Yep.
Movement is me manipulating the sheep.
Yep.
Like it's moving. I got all these sheep going in a certain direction.
Yep.
And I'm doing that through something called a movement. I'm moving the sheep.
Yep.
to my will.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's you know, like we all talk about them councils.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because really they tell you when to protest.
Yep.
They tell you when to cry. They tell you when to get mad. They tell you who to praise.
Yep.
They tell you who to demonize. You know, Esau Edom does these things. You don't know none of those dictators,
Nope.
so-called dictators or leaders in those foreign countries, man.
Yep.
Well, why are you mad at them? You don't even know this guy.
Yeah, because I remember in U.S. history,
Yeah.
junior year in high school, the teacher was like, "How do we feel about communism?" And we was like, "We hate communism." Ain't no what the fuck communism is.
Yeah. And
You know?
that's that, and then that goes into you know, that video we watching, talking
Yeah.
about how it was a CIA. All these things go to CIA,
Yeah.
you know, psyops, man. This whole
Yeah.
communism,
Yeah.
you know, they just need, you know, a boogeyman
Yeah.
where you can focus on the boogeyman, then they can manipulate you,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You know, just like you say, the sheep.
Yeah.
What they use to herd the sheep with. The sheepdog,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. The scapegoat.
Yeah, they got the sheepdog.
Oh yeah,
You know, they let the sheepdog go,
Yep.
and he herd the sheep.
Yep.
That's what all this communism, terrorists, war on drugs.
Yep.
You know, it's just a way to herd the sheep. You know, these false flags. It's just a way to herd the sheep, man.
Like the Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
And the photographer always took pictures of
Yep.
them with guns.
Yep.
There was the boogeyman, the fourth that was the Second Amendment right,
Yeah.
to get rid of that Second Amendment right.
Yeah. Hey, cause they'll set up a alternative news station just to see who's awake. You know, who's waking up. Like they call them gateway channels. Like your boy.
Is that frozen?
Let me see. But like your boy, what's the main one? Alex Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, AMTV, Christopher Green.
Yeah, they
you know.
set them guys up.
Yeah, they'll set them up just to see who's all, you know, some type of conscious, man. Everything is an experiment, you know, a survey, you know, and it's all done by the kings, man. They behind the scenes just manipulate people's emotions, man.
Oh shit.
It's once rocking.
Yeah, it's like 38ish in that area. But hey, and going back to the eugenics movement, Margaret Sanger was just a front woman, man. Now that was the elites that made that decision. Look, the niggas are free, kill them. The elites making that. Anytime the elites make a decision, that trickles down to a puppet they use as a stand-up person that had this great epiphany that this is how things should be.
Yeah.
Like Margaret Sanger had this great epiphany that niggas shouldn't reproduce.
Yeah.
That was coming from the elites. Or some other woman had this great epiphany that a woman shouldn't be a housewife, man. All right? No, that was a order from the elites.
Yep.
And it trickled down in the form of a movement.
Yep.
All right?
Margaret Sanger.
Yep.
I mean, not Margaret Sanger. Gloria Steinem.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
one of the main activists of the feminist movement. She worked for the CIA for 4 years. All right, Betty Friedman.
Yeah.
You know, which was a hideous Edomite woman. You know, but she wrote that book, Feminine Mystique. You know, which they really started the demonization of the housewife. You know, like it was oppressive, man. Yeah. You know,
like I said, guess who runs Lifetime Network? You know, you can only imagine it's those fake Jews.
Yeah.
But that whole network was pushing the narrative that being a husband was evil.
Yeah.
And being a housewife was oppressive.
Yeah.
So when you tell women certain things like, nah, y'all supposed to be housewives, guess what image comes to their conscience? Their victim.
Yep.
You know?
This is back in 1 Ezra 4:4. It says, if he bid them make war, the one against the other, they do it.
And because what does he do? He caused different conflicts. The Rothschilds, the different elite banking families, they cause conflicts within different countries, man.
Hey, the mothers of one of those Rothschilds said, if my sons didn't want war, it wouldn't be war. You know, because they fund both sides. That's their biggest racket. You know, that's why they the scripture talk about how they're going to, you know, go into World War III, because they think this gonna be their biggest money grab before they go into their new world order, man. You know, research officer, you know, Smedley Butley, you know, he was a general during the time, all right, of World War II, man. You know, and he went into how, you know, he was like a mobster for the elites, man. You know, all in South America, Nicaragua, what's the name of it? What's your guy name? Noriega. Yeah. You know, he was down there like he was a mobster for the elites, man. You know, so like I said, the king say war, then it's war, man. You know,
they showed that in the movie The Good Shepherd.
Yep.
The CIA is very demonic.
Yep.
It's a very demonic instrumental tool, all right, to yield the will of the elites, man.
Yep. Hey, a good documentary to watch is All Wars Are Banker Wars, man. And they go all the way back to the time of the French, you know, going all the way up to now, you know, what America, how they got to the Middle East, man. You know? But the elites were behind and manipulating both sides, man.
Because they're businessmen.
Yep.
The bankers are businessmen.
Yep.
The pharmaceutical industry is ran by the Rockefellers, because his business is you getting sick independent on his product.
Yep.
That's a business.
Yep.
The streets, like in the streets, everybody knows like certain things on the street level. They know, okay, this nigga, they finessing, they scamming.
Yep.
Who's the ultimate finesser? Who's the ultimate scanner? The elites, man.
Yeah.
I create a problem to sell you the solution. You know?
And it says,
I'm sorry. You got women on their period working, man. You got
pregnant women working.
Yeah, you got pregnant women working. The Mossad I already put in your instincts to follow his will. You have a cycle to prepare you for a baby from the time you're like 14 to the time you're like 40. Give or take a few. And that whole time, you just living your best life trying to get a career.
Yeah.
Then but Esau put a delusion in your mind that when you get ready, you can build a family. By the time you get ready, your body is through. Men like fruit that's ripe. But that's a different topic. But that's the point, man.
By that time, they're in the danger zone.
They're in the danger zone. They're pruning. All right. But Esau then put a false reality in your mind that got you out of tune with your natural order, man.
Yep.
Why do you think most women are what? Caregivers. Most women are what? Nurses. Teachers. Because you're automatically a nurse and a teacher. Secretary.
Yeah, accountants.
Waitress.
Yeah.
Accountants. All right. You're your man's accountant. You're your man's secretary. You're your children's nurse. All right.
Going back to it, it says, if he bid them make war one against another, they do it. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers.
Yeah. And you remember 9/11? That fake terrorist attack?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those Edomites was ready to go to war for Bush.
Mm-hmm.
Really, Bush was a puppet for the king. But I remember them going to war. It was like, we love you, Bush. Ready to go over there to Afghanistan, man.
Get their heads blown.
Get their head blown the hell off, man.
That's what that movie American Sniper.
Yeah, con.
That's what influenced him when he seen them towers go down.
Yep.
You know.
See that media.
Mm-hmm.
That media is that magic wand.
That's it, bro.
That media is that one to manipulate, influence the sheep. That's ultimate witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Verse 5, it said, they slay and are slain and transgress not the king's commandment. If they get the victory, they bring it all to the king, as well the spoil.
Because you were just breaking down how the elites get rich off wars.
Mm-hmm.
They fund the wars, but they pocket the money off the wars, man.
Yep. They even they'll fund terrorists, you know, just to create conflict in the country, and then the nation leader will sign off on America bringing troops in. And see, when America bring the troops in, that country is paying for them troops. Mm-hmm. And then when America tear that shit up, their infrastructure, fighting terrorists, then they bring American contractors in to rebuild. They destroy. Hey, it was one, I can't think of the name of the series, but it was on Epics. But the guy, he was like, they was having talking with the Edomite. He was like, look, do you remember what we did in Afghanistan? There was a $90 million profit in war. He said, how much more when we start going to war in Africa, man? You see? But that's how these elites, these are the kings, man. They make decisions like kings, but it's wicked.
Yeah. So they basically gentrifying Earth.
Yeah.
It's horrible, man.
It says, they bring all to the king as well the spoil as all thing else. Likewise, for those that are no soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they have sown.
Husband, you take your ass to work every day. All right, but why do you have a social security number? Why do you have federal taxes? All right? Why do you get all these different forms of taxes on your check? You're giving it back to the king, man. Tribute. You're paying tribute to the king, man. That's what it means by husbandry in this day and age. You're sowing your labor in Esau's form, like a plantation, you know?
Yep. And it says, reading again, said, likewise, for those that are no soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again in which they have sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. And if it says, and yet he is but one man, if he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. Mm-hmm. If he command to smite, they smite. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate.
Yeah, because everything that happens with the military is by order of the elites. The president, they got you thinking the president is the what do you call it, the head of state, the chief, commander in chief. But he just a puppet. Mm-hmm. He's the other front man that's taking orders by the elites, man.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right.
They had to be Hiroshima and Nagasaki had to be green light.
Yep.
You know, ain't nobody. Why you thinking ain't no nukes went off yet? Mm-hmm. They gotta be green light. Like these leaders ain't got to say so when to, shoot those nukes off, man. You know, but ultimately, the King of Kings, he's gonna start that
Mhm.
that progress, man, to that nuclear war. But like you said, man, the elites are the ones that give the green light to particular strikes. You know, when it comes to these militaries, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it says it said they make desolate. If he command to build, they build.
Mm-hmm.
If he command to cut
Those
down,
American contractors.
yep.
The American military went into those countries and destroyed the country fighting terrorism. Then they sent the American contractors to rebuild it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If you see a country built up, man, it's because the king, like you see Russia getting all this high tech missiles. You know, that's because the kings are putting their money into that, man. The elites. You see China ahead of America. You know, in the technocracy. You know, why? Because the elites are putting their money into that, man.
Just even like I heard earlier, Shawama said, or even parts of the world like America, the elites are responsible for the best schools over there where Esau stays at, and all the drugs get distributed where Jake in the Northern Kingdom stays at. Hey, Esau was in control of that gentrification project, man. All right.
And it says, if he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant. Mm-hmm. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh, and taketh his rest. And these keep watch round about him. Neither may anyone depart or do his own business, neither disobey they him in anything.
Yeah, because anybody that goes against the elites, what happens? They die. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much the point of that, showing the power of that rich man, which the rich man is the elites. Oh, you got it, brother.
A few for you.
Okay, come. Okay, come.
All right. This is get this verse. Sirach chapter 37 and verse 7. Every counselor, excuse me, you know what? Let me yeah, you know what? Let me jump to verse 8. It's a point. Sirach 37 and 8. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he have, for he will counsel for himself.
Yep. Lest
he cast the lot upon thee.
You could go into that, brother.
Nah, pretty much, you know, everything they're doing is for their agenda.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all was talking about those different secret councils. They come like they're bringing humanitarian aid. And they want to help the earth. Yeah. You know, but it's really to forward their agenda.
Because you can end world hunger overnight. You know.
That's another one. This is Sirach 9 and 13. Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill.
And who has power to kill? The elites, man. Like you was going into those mercenaries, those foreign mercenaries. Mm-hmm. They're basically born. They're basically born to be mercenaries, man. Mm-hmm. Ultimately for the elites, man. Yep. All right, you cannot go against a man, all right, that has a military. I'm trying to think of what movie I was watching. All right. Well, basically, they was going against a rich man. Yeah. It was a movie I was watching the other day.
Yeah, you seen Scarface.
Yep.
You know. Yep. Scarface had money, but Sosa had more money. Yep. And he couldn't outgun them. Right. They just kept coming, man. You know. And that's the situation that you see today, man. That's like when you see Jake, you know, talking about being militant. All right, against this system, man. This system crush you, man. Yep. You know, you light work to these elites, man. They on a whole nother level when it comes to carnality, man. Cool. That's why our only chance is through the scriptures, man. It's through Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai. Outside of that, man, ain't nothing you gonna do with this beast, man.
That's why it says in Isaiah 14, it says they're gonna look narrowly upon him and ask, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? Mm-hmm. You talking about going against a man that made the earth to tremble. Esau has emasculated whole countries. That's why you can't go against a rich man. But the reason why it's so easy for you to say that because you've never done it. Yeah. It's easy to just say in theory what you're gonna do because he ain't come at you yet.
Yeah, and you ain't a threat.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So you not even on his radar. You know? Like you say, this man is all over the earth, you know, manipulating. He got people with militaries, you know, saying yes, sir. You know. Yeah. With actual tanks and jets. You know, he got them curled up, man. You think, you know, your few M16s and AKs, you know, stand a chance against this man who you live off his grid. You know, this the king's grid that you live off of, man.
You his property.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why this gonna be the single most, you know, greatest collapse to ever happen in history, man. I was watching that guy, Paul Romano. His channel is Pockets of the Future. But he's always talking about, you know, things that's going on concerning the elite. You know, the same guy, he made that video how to survive the collapse. But basically, he was saying, you know, the only way you can survive is if you have a connection with God. Now, he doesn't know Yahweh Shema Shai, but he was making some good points. And he was like, you know, forget about the controllers. He kept calling them controllers or, you know, globalists. There's different names that people call the elite. He was like, forget about them because all they want to do is continue to keep this scheme going that they have on the earth. They know that after this, they know that they're done. He was like, forget about them. People give them too much credit. He was like, all you can do is just focus on the hereafter. You know, because when it collapses, you know, you can't go back to this. You speaking about people live on the grid, you know, so, hey, man, that's something to keep in mind also for brothers. You know, we think about the elite, but they're done, man.
On a carnal level, man, hey, man, we're literally in that movie Get Out was very spiritual, man.
Yep.
All right, because we left slavery and went right into witchcraft. Because slavery technically ended around 1968. When Jim Crow ended, that's really when slavery ended. But that just so happened when all the liberties were manifested. The women's exploring their sexuality. All right, that's when, because you left Egypt and went right into Babylon, so to speak.
Yeah.
They had already had it set up for you, like, no, we're going to integrate them into the spiritual demon Babylon.
You know, the abolitionist movement.
Yep.
You know, because you go back, because that was when they first started doing the women empowerment.
Yeah.
You know, you go back and do their history, that was around the 1860s.
Yeah.
You know, and that whole abolitionist, you know, which that's what Jake, because that's what a lot of Jake got the mind frame that they're good Edomites.
Yeah.
You know, from the abolitionists, which means, you know, you was for abolishing slavery. But no, guess who funded the abolitionists, man? The Rothschilds, man. Like you said, because they couldn't tax those private owned slaves on southern property. You know?
Yeah.
But if the more they push the population up north, now they had to get Social Security cards. You see? So all the elite bankers did, you know, was transfer private property to corporate property, man. You know, and that's why they went to war. What do you think? Why you think the South couldn't hold up? Because the South was getting money, but they didn't have the money the elites had.
They couldn't go to war to Richmond.
They couldn't hold up. Like Mississippi had the fourth largest economy in the world before the war. But then when they went to war with the North, it showed you, man, they invaded Mississippi in so many different places, man. And that's why you like look at Mississippi and Arkansas. The reason you see like a lot of states is like they left behind, that's intentional, man. The kings made that decision. You know, this is a punishment for your rebellion, man. You know? So so like you say, you can't go against the system, man. When it's time for them to go forward, they're gonna go forward. The only thing, like you say, that's gonna stop him is Yahweh Shema Shai, man. You know, and this word is playing a part in that, man.
That's power in being the king of the earth.
Yep, well, I got that too.
Okay, come on. Oh, you had one more scripture?
Yeah.
No, that was it for right now.
Right.
Okay, I got two of them. Just go to that because these future prophecies let you know that there are kings of the earth today. It's Isaiah 24 and 21, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth.
But it says he's gonna punish the host of the high ones. Hosts is the military. So going back to 2nd Ezra 13th chapter, and that's Yahweh Shai punishing the host of the high ones, man.
Yep.
All right, because you know just how the movie Godfather, he had his Luca Brasi. All right, going back to King David, King Solomon having that hitman, and Yahweh Shai is the Most High's hitman. He's the Most High's Luca Brasi. Yahweh and the archangels, are that he has his own. Hey, the Most High is the real king. He has a military, man.
The Lord of hosts.
Yeah, the Lord of hosts. All right, that's the only power that can go against the elites, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey, like Esau been doing everybody else. Most I finna do him like that.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, that's a heavy statement, man. Your first day of school and you knock the bully out. You ain't gotta fight nobody else. You know, you gonna set the tone.
Well,
damn. Yeah, you done knock the nigga out everybody scared of. You know? So it's like, damn.
Hammer that.
You got the juice now.
You got the juice now.
Yeah.
Yep. They did that movie it's called Skyline. It's supposed to be about a so-called alien invasion. You know, but that was a decent movie for what it was. And they had said on the previews, you know, you watch the trailer to the movie Skyline, the first one that came out, they said, well, if this invasion happens, they was talking about on the news. If this invasion happens, what's going to happen to us is going to be similar to what Columbus did to the Native Americans. You know? I mean, so they know what's coming, man.
Hey. Esau, that's why I said he knows he has but a short time.
Yeah.
So he's finna hit the gas with it, man. All right. But you had another.
Oh yeah. This is Psalms 149:5. It said, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
Yep.
Let the high praise of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. Dishonor have all the saints, praise ye the Lord."
And that's what we're here for, man. So we want to take the king off the chessboard, man. We don't want to be a pawn in your chess game through the spirit of power. How about some shot? We're going to knock you off the chessboard, and in the kingdom, we're going to have you in slavery, man.
Yep.
All right? Going back to Amos, we're going to dig into your little bunkers, man, and dig you out of those bunkers, man, after America gets destroyed, man. Because, hey, that's why I said the last should be first and the first should be last, man. All right? That's the new world order, man. All right?
And that's really how you, like you say, you emasculate a nation.
Yeah.
When you put the king in captivity with the common person.
Yep.
You know? And that's how the lease gonna be.
Yep.
You know? You're gonna be working with the Rothschilds, gonna be in the field with Joe Sixpack from Europe. You know? You're gonna be in captivity with the common person, man.
That's the ultimate humiliation.
That's a humiliation, man.
Yep.
That's how you break the spirit of a nation, man.
Yeah, a proud nation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it happened to us during the curses. Said our king should go in captivity with thee.
Yep.
You know, happened with that was Zedekiah.
Yeah, they have the ass put out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So hey, the same, all this coming back, man. You know, we're gonna humiliate your kings, man. You know, the Mongolian Empire, you know, Genghis Khan. Hey, like the Rus, you know, before they were Russian, they was called Rus, which they were Jake. But when the Mongolians had conquered them, they made the king of Rus feed their horses. Like you can be king over Rus, you know, just pay tribute, and you got to feed our horses, man. They're like there was a psyche on the peasants, like damn, how much power did these niggas got, you know?
And it's heavy, man. But y'all had any more prescriptions?
Nah, that was it. You had something else?
Yeah, I had some.
All right, close it out after that. The rest of this going on.
Okay.
I realize I can break it down to something else, another lesson.
Right. This is Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 4, beginning at verse 13 down to 14. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king.
Yeah, Esau is an old and foolish king. Why are they old and foolish kings? Because they think they're going to get the new world order. And they think they could counter the coming of Yahweh Shai, man. All right?
They don't want to take no counsel.
Nope.
No good counsel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king who will be no more admonished.
Yep. Admonished. You know, being warned. Yeah.
Because we've been standing in the stead of a prophet talking to the king. I like Jeremiah. All right, talking to the king. All right, for the last 50 years. Since 1969. Starting with Abba Bibis.
Yep.
But it was as though one person has been saying the same thing for 50 years, man.
Same spirit.
The same spirit has been talking to them, and they have not taken counsel, man.
Mhm.
You know?
Who will no more be admonished, for out of prison he cometh to reign. They came out them caves. That 1,000-year period.
Damn.
Whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor.
Mhm.
It's damn near everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They own, you know.
With slaves.
Yeah.
Because,
With corporate slaves.
Yep.
85% of the world's wealth goes to 1% of the population every year, which those are the kings, man, and their nobles. You know?
And they got to set it up this way where we're blinded by the media, because if we knew that, then we would rebel against the king.
Mhm.
So they came up with a little finesse game of deception where they're gonna put a veil over our face,
Yep.
and that veil is excess entertainment, clubs, sex, porn, church, convenience, iPhones, like you said, convenience. All right, you get so distracted by that, the illusion of voting for your president, and you get so distracted by that you ignore the fact that you are a battery to the elites.
Yep.
Going back to the movie Matrix, that's what that was about.
Yep.
All right, but that's pretty much the point, man. And when a rich man is speaking, all right, he's speaking through these movements. He's speaking through the media to move the sheep in the direction that he wants them to go, man. Like I said, he can use a boogeyman, he can make fake terrorists, all right, fabricate terrorists to make the sheep go in this direction, give up your rights, all right, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's pretty much the power of the king. Going back to 1 Ezra 4.
Yep. I just say, I listened to the documentary, this Anonymous, you know, they be having these little different clips, and they said fear controls behavior, and behavior becomes a culture, and that culture becomes your society.
Wow.
So the elites manipulate that fear, man. You know, them kings, they manipulate their fear to form, you know, a society, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, come. Well, with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. I know I was.
Come.
All right, once again, we want to give our honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem,
Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostles of Great Millstone, we're well. Peace and blessed to the house of the elect. And with that, Abba Baba.
Abba Baba.
Shalom.
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 Shalom.